When you think of Greece, you probably picture those iconic white buildings with blue domes, perched on the cliffs of Santorini, gleaming in the sunlight. These postcard-perfect scenes have become the symbol of Greece for people all over the world. The dazzling white walls, the deep blue domes, and the endless sky meeting the sea, these images are everywhere, from travel brochures to Instagram feeds, painting a picture of a country that seems almost too beautiful to be real. The sun setting over the Aegean, casting golden and pink hues across the water, is a sight that draws millions of visitors every year. The islands glow in the fading light, and for a moment it feels like time stands still. The gentle breeze, the sound of waves lapping against the shore, and the distant laughter from a seaside taverna all add to the magic. It's a scene that promises peace, romance, and a slower pace of life. And a life that feels effortless. In these moments, it's easy to believe that every day in Greece is filled with leisure. Long afternoons spent sipping coffee at a cafe, friends gathering by the sea, and families sharing meals under the shade of olive trees. The rhythm of life seems unhurried, as if everyone has all the time in the world to enjoy the simple things. For years, that postcard image wasn't just for tourists. It was real for many Greeks. The sense of community was strong, and people took pride in their traditions. Village squares would come alive with laughter and conversation, and neighbors looked out for one another. Life revolved around family, friends, and the joy of being together. They called it kefi, a word that's hard to translate, but it means a mix of joy, spirit, and a love for life. Kefi is about living in the moment, celebrating with music and dance, and finding happiness in the company of others. It's built on family, community, and simple pleasures like sharing a meal, telling stories, or dancing late into the night. This spirit was the heartbeat of Greek life, and it made even ordinary days feel special. The economy wasn't perfect, but people felt secure. There was a sense of stability, and most families could count on a roof over their heads, food on the table, and a future for their children. Streets were safe, and life moved at a pace that allowed people to enjoy what they had, even if it wasn't much by some standards. Fast forward to 2025, and that postcard is fading. The contrast between the glossy images and the reality on the ground has grown sharper. While some areas still look like the brochures, many neighborhoods show signs of wear and struggle. The gap between the old dream and the new reality is hard to ignore. The slow life has become a struggle. Small businesses that once thrived are now closing their doors. Workers face long hours and uncertain futures. The sense of ease that once defined Greek life has been replaced by stress and fatigue. People are working harder just to keep up, and the carefree days seem like a distant memory. Simple pleasures now come with a price tag, and anxiety has replaced that relaxed vibe. Even everyday activities like shopping for groceries or paying the rent have become sources of worry. Young people, once full of hope, now face tough choices about their futures. The cost of living has soared, and many families are struggling to make ends meet. Living in Greece today is like loving someone who's become difficult. There's beauty and loyalty, but daily life is a challenge. People still feel a deep connection to their homeland, but that love is now mixed with frustration and uncertainty. The breathtaking views and rich history remain, but they can't hide the hardships that many face each day. The blue seas and ancient history remain, but the foundation of daily life is shaken. The ruins of the past stand as reminders of a proud heritage, while the present is marked by economic hardship and social change. The contrast between the old and the new is everywhere, and it's clear that the postcard image no longer tells the whole story. The real story isn't about ancient ruins, but about modern Greeks trying to rebuild a dream piece by piece. Despite the challenges, there's a quiet resilience in the way people come together to support each other, fix what's broken, and hold on to hope. Communities are finding new ways to adapt. Young people are starting projects to revitalize their neighborhoods, and families are rediscovering the value of solidarity. The spirit of kefi may be harder to find, but it hasn't disappeared. It's just evolving, as Greeks work to create a new reality that's worthy of their postcard past. Remember the Greek debt crisis? It was a time when the world watched as Greece teetered on the brink of financial collapse. The crisis was not just a local issue, it sent shockwaves through the global economy, raising questions about the stability of the Eurozone and the future of the European Union itself. It was supposed to be a short, sharp shock, tight budgets, austerity, and promises of recovery. The international community, led by the European Union and the International Monetary Fund, stepped in with bailout packages demanding strict austerity measures in return. These measures were meant to stabilize the economy and restore confidence, but the cleanse became a permanent diet. The austerity measures, while intended to be temporary, became a way of life for many Greeks. Families had to adjust to a new reality, where even basic necessities became luxuries. The social fabric of the nation was stretched thin as people struggled to make ends meet. Pensions were cut, salaries slashed, taxes raised. The impact was felt across all sectors of society. Elderly citizens who had worked hard all their lives found their pensions reduced to a fraction of what they once were. Workers saw their paychecks shrink and the tax burden increased, leaving little room for savings or investment. The result? Ordinary people lost spending power, and the economy never fully healed. Businesses closed, unable to cope with the reduced consumer spending. The once bustling streets of Athens and other cities became eerily quiet, with many shops displaying "for rent" signs as a testament to the economic downturn. More than a decade later, Greece is still burdened by debt and slow recovery. The national debt remains a heavy weight on the country's shoulders, limiting its ability to invest in growth and development. Abandoned factories and half-mast flags serve as reminders of the challenges that still lie ahead. Politicians may celebrate progress, but most Greeks still feel the squeeze. While there have been signs of recovery, such as improved GDP figures and increased tourism, the average Greek citizen continues to face financial hardships. Public services are strained, and the cost of living remains high. The crisis left scars on jobs, social services, and the national psyche. Unemployment, especially among the youth, remains a significant issue. Hospitals and schools are underfunded, and the infrastructure is in dire need of repair. The psychological impact of the crisis is evident in the cautious optimism of the people. The emergency is over, but the pain lingers, like a patient out of the ICU, but still far from healthy. Greece has made strides towards recovery, but the journey is far from over. The resilience of the Greek people is commendable, yet the road to full recovery is long and fraught with challenges. As the sun sets over Athens, there is hope for a brighter future, but the scars of the past remain a constant reminder of the economic hangover that never truly left. What does this economic hangover look like? For many Greeks, the answer is visible in every corner of daily life. The once bustling streets of Athens now carry a sense of uncertainty, as families walk past shuttered shops and empty storefronts that serve as reminders of better days. The city's energy feels subdued, weighed down by years of financial strain and the lingering effects of austerity. Wages are stagnant, but the cost of living has soared. Paychecks haven't kept up with the relentless rise in prices, making it harder for families to stretch their euros to the end of the month. Every trip to the supermarket is a reminder of how much less money can buy, as price tags are updated almost weekly, and essentials become luxuries. Even basics like cheese and olive oil, staples of the Greek diet, are now expensive. What used to be everyday items are now carefully weighed decisions. Many families find themselves cutting back on traditional foods, substituting or simply going without as they try to make ends meet. The job market is bleak. Youth unemployment is among the highest in Europe. For young people, the future feels uncertain. University graduates, once hopeful for stable careers, now face a harsh reality. Jobs are scarce and opportunities are limited. Many spend months, even years, searching for work, often settling for positions far below their qualifications. Degrees don't guarantee jobs. Many work part-time or seasonally just to scrape by. It's common to see young adults juggling multiple gigs, serving coffee in the morning, picking olives in the afternoon, and working at a beach bar by night. These jobs offer little security, and the pay is barely enough to cover basic expenses. Bureaucracy is legendary, making it hard to start a business or get ahead. Endless paperwork, long lines at government offices, and complicated regulations discourage entrepreneurship. For those with dreams of building something new, the system often feels like an obstacle course, sapping energy and hope. The result? People juggle multiple jobs just to pay rent and bills. It's not uncommon for someone to work 2 or even 3 jobs, sacrificing time with family and friends just to keep the lights on. The stress of constant work and financial insecurity takes a toll on mental and physical health. The famous Greek lifestyle, once defined by leisurely meals, vibrant gatherings, and a sense of community, has become a daily calculation. Can I afford heat tonight? If I buy this, can we eat next week? Survival has replaced relaxation. For many, the simple joys of life have been replaced by tough choices and constant worry, as every euro is counted and every expense scrutinized. The spirit of resilience remains, but the struggle is real, and the dream of a carefree Greek life feels more distant than ever. The crisis hits generations differently. Young Greeks, raised on promises of opportunity, find doors closed. Careers, homes, and families feel out of reach. Many still live with parents into their 30s, frustrated by a system that changed the rules. Meanwhile, pensioners who built the country now struggle on slashed incomes, counting coins at the market. Families, once the bedrock of Greek society, are strained. Grandparents support unemployed children, and everyone feels the weight. It's a cycle of dependency and quiet heartbreak, with each generation worrying for the other. Meet Eleni, a stand-in for thousands. She's 32 with a master's in marketing, fluent in English and German. On paper, she's the future. In reality, she bounces between short-term jobs, earning just enough to cover rent and bills. She shares an apartment out of necessity, hasn't had a real vacation in years, and relies on care packages from her parents, whose own finances are tight. Her friends face the same struggles. Engineers delivering food, teachers waiting tables. Eleni loves Greece, but each month she wonders, is this living or just surviving? For many, the answer is to leave. This isn't the old wave of labor migration, it's a brain drain. Greece's best and brightest, doctors, engineers, scientists, head abroad for opportunity and stability. They want meritocracy and a future they can plan. Greece invests in their education, but other countries reap the benefits. For those who leave, it's bittersweet. They gain security but miss home, family, and culture. They live between worlds, never fully belonging in either. Economic struggles and brain drain reshape neighborhoods. Family-run shops close, replaced by chains or empty storefronts. The social fabric unravels. No more chatting with the baker or gossiping with the butcher. Communities feel anonymous and disconnected. Meanwhile, short-term rentals like Airbnb drive up rents, pushing locals out. Neighborhoods become tourist zones, losing their authenticity. The places look Greek but feel hollow. Locals become strangers in their own city. You'd hope the government would have answers, but politics is complicated. Successive leaders promise reforms, but progress is slow and rarely felt by ordinary people. The system still favors the well-connected, breeding cynicism. Decades of debt mean Greece's options are limited. Every plan is scrutinized by European creditors. People hear about growth, but don't feel it. After years of crisis, patience is thin. Greeks are tired of waiting for a recovery that never seems to arrive. Is it all doom and gloom? No. Greeks are resilient. They've survived worse. There are sparks of hope, young entrepreneurs, tech startups, and a renewed focus on quality of life. Some move to the countryside, seeking sustainability and community. The crisis has forced a reevaluation of values. For real change, Greece needs to tackle bureaucracy, reward merit, and invest in its people. But the greatest hope is in the spirit of kefi, the joy, passion, and love for life that endures. As long as that spirit survives, so does the hope for a better future.